Output. That's why you're here. In your business, it's a streamlined process that's compounding as we speak. Ads, performance, teams, systems. It's super easy for us to nail down the exact bottlenecks within the business that need to be further optimized in order for you to see that growth. I mean, thank God Meta exists, a platform that segments all aspects of ad optimization and further intricacies. Combine that with an A++ team and your business is coasting. But business is merely half of the output equation. The puppeteer, the person behind the strings, that's all you. You're the one behind the computer at the end of the day, making it all happen. And ultimately, the entire machine only moves as fast as the person that built it. And you're here with Optimability because you realize to some extent, you're limiting the growth of the engine that you've created. And here's the ugly truth. Several things have been holding you back from increasing your output. Ease of implementation, doing tasks that aren't worth your time, information all over the place, not knowing what to train, it goes on. And that's why you're here. Deep down in the pit of your stomach, you've realized one thing while speaking to Martin or with us. More health equals more output. And just because the systems in everyday life that exist aren't reminiscent of that, it doesn't make it undeniably true. And that's exactly what we're here to do. We're here to fix your personal output equation with your health. Because your health can ultimately be a brand new Lamborghini Aventador or an SVJ or a Urus that has brand new wheels on it, perfectly orchestrated engine, brand new tires, and is ready to rip. Or it could be a crummy old tractor that can barely start. And that's exactly what we're here to enable for you at the lowest opportunity cost required on your end. We're here to make you a Lamborghini. That way you can stay on track with your family, your personal health, your business, your goals, whatever you need, so that you're not limited by the constraints of your health. On top of obviously being stronger, living longer, all the Brian Johnson goo goo gaga stuff, and all of that health optimization jazz of mental sharpness and lack of disease and ailments. As we continue to grow, we want you to be unbound by the capabilities and limitations of your body. And time again, being in mass abundance is exactly what we need. And we need that abundance and that flow state that we create to match the projection of ourselves and our bodies and our meat suits that we're tasked with for the rest of our lives. We need that abundance to go both ways. It can't just work in business and it can't just work in health. So let's boil it down. You know that you shouldn't be wasting your time cooking, cleaning, folding your socks, and doing all that crummy work that is literally worth $15 an hour. The things that you have to do to survive but shouldn't be doing because they're not worthy of your time. That's a problem that we solve. We solve that by freeing up your time, your most valuable asset, and deploying an in-person team to handle all those intricacies for you and implement all of the work that I'm about to share with you that happens on the back end. And when it comes to health, well, you already know the truth. Most of what's out there does not work. Everything doesn't work because everything isn't you. You're finite, and by being finite, that imposes a personal set of criteria around your biology. So instead of trying everything at Optimability, we do some basic science to decode your biology and put it to work. As ultimately, everyone's saying something different and the advice contradicts itself. And even if you want to do science on your own, all you're going to be given is a ton of PDFs without knowing how to pull these puzzle pieces together. So let us handle all of the consolidation, all the security, and all of the geek nerdy work on the back end. And with us, teamwork is the dream work. Depending on your needs, you'll see specialists deployed in your life so that they can meet you exactly where you're at and boil down the constraints of your bottlenecks with your body. Some dedicate their careers to teeth, others to physiotherapy, others to hormones, and all of these specialists are right there at your disposal. No one person can master health, but a team can. And that's exactly what we're here to deliver for you. Your own personalized health team that requires no input on your end to deliver the tasks that aren't worth your time while we use science on the back end as the fuel of the entire engine. But before we dive into the sauce, the process, the testing, the teams, and all that exciting stuff, there's something extremely important that we have to go over together, and that's direct experience. Up until this point, this entire thing might have sounded like a VSL that you've heard tens of thousands of times over, but it is much more than that. Everything that you see on this video and with your experience with us on social media has been what me and Martin have cultivated together as high performance athletes in respective powerlifting domains and high endurance events. We've pushed our own mental limitations with our minds. I biked over 320 kilometers in a day, done Ironman events, natural bodybuilding, you name it, to see what my physical limitations were. We started off by rewriting the future with ourselves, finding what our mental limitations were, finding what our physical limitations were. And because we use this optimability process on ourselves firsthand, the secret is we found none. It's simply limited by the constraints of the three aspects we're going to go over. But before we dive into those, the craziest thing with doing this work properly is that we've seen history rewrite itself. I was in peril, diagnosed with clubfoot operations that rendered me immobile for 5 years of my life, and I had to spend 18 years of my life fighting for my mobility, fighting without knowing if I'd be able to walk, if I'd be able to live past 20, if I were to be able to have a strong and functioning back. All of this was on a pendulum of undefined characteristics. And I had to be the one to take it into my hands and take my own responsibility with my health so that I could build this business, so that I could achieve the life that I wanted to. Yes, we've seen this firsthand with ourselves and myself and my story, but what's more powerful is to see it work with other people. Joe came to us at 360 fucking pounds. He was so obese, so unhealthy, and I was on the verge of collapse and addiction. We got him down to a healthy 200 pounds at 6'6". William came to us vaping, addicted to substances, and within 5 months, he shed down over 3% body fat and gained 5 pounds of lean muscle mass and is now on track to do a frickin' Ironman. An Ironman is something that 99.9% of people will never do. And Joe is one of a few thousand people that comes out of obesity and is actually able to get back to full sustained health while looking shredded. So I hope those case studies excite you, and I hope my personal story excites you too, because we have a true mission-driven, purpose-centered company here. So let's get to work. In order to use your health as the ultimate wealth vehicle in increasing your output, we need to understand what are the parameters of our health. And at Optimability, we've identified thousands, but we've boiled them down into 3 simple categories: fuel, perform, recover. What you eat, so that involves nutrition, supplementation, how you perform, so that's with your training, your work, your clarity, and how you recover, so sleep, sauna, steam room, cold plunge, etc. Those are some examples of those 3 characteristics, and that 3-step process is the foundation for all the assets that you'll see out of us. As ultimately, our job is to identify the systems in your body right now that are constraining those 3 things, fuel, perform, and recover, from taking you to exactly where you want to get to. And on this kickoff call, you're going to see that with holistic goal setting. If your goal is to run an Ironman or gain 10 pounds, our job is to ensure that you're hitting those goals by no sacrificial means necessary. So that means putting on healthy, lean weight without seeing any back pains or stomach problems or lack of sleep. As ultimately, if you're increasing one aspect of your health and you're sacrificing another, that's just ultimate foolery. We're being negligent. And true health is non-sacrificial. We then factor in your weekly allowance, how much time you have to give us, and orchestrate a plan and meals that fit into your lifestyle needs. That way you're not sacrificing on work and you're reaping all the benefits. Afterwards, myself and the team will associate an expert timeline that's realistic so that you're not burning out and you're constantly on track with your goals. Because gaining 5 pounds of lean mass and racing an Ironman event at your highest level of output have 2 completely different timelines, weekly allowance, and have completely different goals set around them. And it's our job to ensure that we're aligning those expectations properly with you. So here's our process. The first thing is holistic goal setting, like I just explained. The second thing is identifying all bottlenecks in the body, as this is ultimately seen as inflammation in many different forms. It's like a shapeshifter hiding in your gut, hiding in your breathing, hiding in your brain. And it's our job, using the best known science to date to identify exactly where that limitation is hiding in your body. And using a full scope of testing, because ultimately with testing, the goal is to understand and decode what your body is communicating to you in real time. That's the true power of testing. And once we're able to derive that testing, we feed it into our proprietary AI system that holistically overviews all of your tests, all of your data, and your goals as well, and creates direction for our in-person team as well as ourselves to make sure that all your plans and assets are orchestrated to meet your needs and hit your goals. Here are just a few of the ways that we're tracking your progress. Heart rate metrics, DEXA scan improvements, blood testing results, enhanced sleep data, stress markers, reduction in biological aging, and enhanced digestive function, as well as feedback from your end on mental clarity. And your feedback is super important because, let's admit it, humans aren't at the point yet where we can exactly see and understand, oh, I gained 5% more output today. Oh, I feel 99% more sharp. These are just buzzwords that people that don't understand health use to try and market it. But realistically speaking, it's actually a limitation in technology. Eventually, we will be able to develop something that can track what your body is communicating to us in live time, but that's in the future. Now, before we wrap up here, I want to set a couple more expectations with you. This is a highly emotional journey. We've seen people cry. We've seen people completely rebuild themselves in their lives. And the process looks something like this. We start off really excited because it's a new journey, it's a new endeavor, it's a new mission. And then the testing starts. And throughout the testing, and as we're gathering that data as quickly as we can, there is a bit of a dip. And that dip is something that we like to call the waiting period. And within the waiting period, it may feel like we're just doing basic meal plans or basic training and we're just collecting data and information. But realistically, this dip is that slingshot effect that we need to catapult you to a new level, because we want to do it right. We can't just rush into things. We can't just blindly start guessing and throwing a ton of things at the wall. Our head coach, Jameson Pluis, is one of the best Ironman to ever come out of Canada. And he literally trains in the easiest heart rate zone consistently for years. That's how you build something great. And it's the same thing in business. It's not about tomorrow or next month or next year. It's about what's going on 5, 10, 20, 50 years from now. Because we're here to double the average human's lifespan, and we want to make sure that we're doing it right at no costs to your health or your goals. We're going to be using Slack for all of our centralized communications, as ultimately it's the easiest place to store assets, logins, and keep the team synchronized. If you have any questions about Slack, just ask me on our kickoff call. I'll also be walking you through it to make sure that we're fully aligned there. We're also going to be using Training Peaks, as it's super awesome at synchronizing all of the health data that comes in, as well as just keeping training plans super simple, digestible, and easy to reference. And just before we wrap up, here are a couple quick things to consider. The first thing is ask questions. We love doing all of these complexities and all of this boiling down on the back end for you so that you don't have to think about it, but your curiosity is what really sparks our commitment to you. It brings us excitement. It brings us joy to explain the science and the intricacies behind what's going on, because we ultimately love it. This is a purpose-driven company. I'm here because I want to empower you, very much so like how I was empowered when I couldn't walk. So ask a ton of questions and have your curiosity at the forefront every time you communicate with us or hop on weekly calls. Try and unplug as much emotion as you can, as your entire physiology is going to change. You're going to become more awakened and you're going to become healthier. And in that process, emotions and hormones might get involved. And that's totally okay. And it's part of the process and the journey. I've seen clients that have gone injured, and because they can't go box when they box their whole lives, their entire hormone panel is thrown off. And we're there to help them through that sort of progress and through that sort of healing. So be open to new ideas, be responsive to our team members in the channel. Communication is everything with us, and we love when clients are constantly on top of it when it comes down to response time and communicating with the in-person team. And with that, I'd officially like to welcome you to the Optimability family, and I'm excited to change your life forever. Welcome to the ecosystem where everything is streamlined for you. We have extremely high excellence. We're always receptive and open to feedback, and we're here to deliver the best possible journey for you. As ultimately, I want your business to grow. I want you to have more time with your family, and I want you to live your best life possible while fully recognizing the true potential and power that your health holds, because that's what changed my life. And I'm here to pass that on with my co-founder Martin and the entire team onto you. So let's get started.